Healthy living is a balance between, stress and other things that are going on in your life.
Healthy living means like it means sort of being in touch with yourself, being good to yourself, being very good to belly is the deepest thought.
Healthy living is a balance, is moderation. Moderation including moderation of self.
Today, there's an explosion of useful information and promising new approaches. More and more doctors are tapping into this information, working to prevent disease and to help people reverse ill health naturally. One example is coenzyme Q10, which is making its mark in Western medicine. It's being used by some cardiologists to treat heart disease, and they also report it has shown benefits in treating strokes and cancer.
Dr. Stephen Sinatra, respected cardiologist and author, is considered the premier authority on a little-known nutrient called coenzyme Q10. His research explores its effect on heart disease, stroke, and even cancer.
Coenzyme Q10 is a vitamin-like substance that we eat every day. I mean, we find it in fish, it's in animal products. It's not very common in vegetarian products like fruits and vegetables, but it's something we take in our diet, and it's the most important vital nutrient for anti-aging as well as prevention of heart disease, cancer, degenerative disease, even diabetes. It's a nutrient that I cannot possibly work without, and I'm very proud to have done research on it and to have used it in my clinical practice for the last 13 years.
Dr. Sinatra's praise for CoQ10 is remarkable in a profession where many doctors resist promoting alternative medicine.
CoQ10 has a lot of different functions in the body. It acts like an antioxidant. It's a membrane stabilizer. It supports the production of ATP, which increases energy in the body. It also has an effect on blood platelets. So CoQ10 has a multifaceted action, and it's just one of those nutrients that I believe will absolutely be one of the highlights in preventive medicine.
Many of Dr. Sinatra's patients credit CoQ10 and following doctor's orders for being alive today.
The other doctors would give me different medications and different drugs, and I found that was reacting in different ways on me. But Dr. Sinatra has treated me mostly with herbal medicines now, and it seems to work out 100% better.
Dr. Sinatra did some blood work and found out my proper blood level and got me on CoQ10 and, in essence, kind of revived me.
Despite Dr. Sinatra's apparent success with CoQ10, one question continues to come up.
Have any of these remedies been tested in a really good scientific double-blind study?
When I wrote my book, The CoQ10 Phenomenon, there were at least 26,000 hits on the internet on CoQ10. So there's a lot of research on CoQ10. There's at least 26 placebo-controlled double-blind trials, and this is one nutrient that is going to explode over the next decade because of all the research going into it right now.
According to the research, CoQ10 works in the body by feeding damaged cells with energy-increasing nutrients. This strengthens the cells, enabling them to repair and regenerate. While the Food and Drug Administration has determined that CoQ10 can be generally regarded as safe, Dr. Sinatra takes a stronger stance.
There's really no downside. I mean, I've been using it for 13 years in my practice.
Dr. Sinatra maintains an optimistic vision for the use of CoQ10.
When you get more and more traditional hospitals and more traditional conventional doctors using CoQ10, and when they see the power of CoQ10 and the dramatic effects it has on people's lives and the way it eases human suffering, I just think the future is so bright that I think a lot of doctors will be using it like I do on a day-to-day basis.
As medical science continues to investigate the potential for CoQ10, Dr. Sinatra has already reached his conclusion.
To say it in plain English, it's unthinkable for me to practice cardiology without it.
In a 17-year study of over 10,000 health-conscious eaters in England, Scotland, and Wales, the people who ate fresh fruit every day had 24% less chance of fatal heart attack, 32% less chance of fatal stroke, and 21% less chance of dying from any but natural causes. Native Americans have always honored nature and its elements. Their rituals, although indigenous to North America, are still a mystery to most of us. but not to the patients of a healer called the Coyote Medicine Man. He's a medical doctor who is introducing his patients to Native American sacred healing traditions. Journey with us to a Native American sweat lodge and meet the Coyote Medicine Man.
Dr. Louis Mel Madrona incorporates the rituals of his ancestors, the Lakota and the Cherokee, into his medical practice, healing in what he calls the natural way.
I found in my work with patients that bringing in the Native American healing methods had tremendous value for them, that it sometimes catapulted their progression to wellness, that it sometimes allowed miracles to happen, that even for those people that died, it allowed them to die with a sense of meaning and beauty and dignity.
Dr. Mel Madrona includes chanting, prayer, and storytelling in his treatment of patients. He believes a connection to spirit and the great creator is made through smoke in the sacred pipe ceremony and through purification in the sweat lodge.
You leave your possessions outside, and the symbolism is that you're re-entering the womb of the Mother Earth.
The ritual of the sweat lodge has developed over hundreds of years. Its design differs from tribe to tribe, and a modern sweat lodge can look quite ordinary. Yet many claim what happens inside can be extraordinary. Some say they feel a connection with the divine.
The 4 stages correspond to a period of time inside the lodge with the door closed. So to begin with, we bring the stones in, and we have water inside. We close the door, and the door is a little flap, and we sit in the darkness and the heat, pour water on the stones. In the first round, we call it, or cycle, we sing songs and purify ourselves. So the songs call in the spirits to help us. There's the 4 directions song, which calls in the west, the north, the east, the south, the sky, and the earth. And then there's other songs that are sung to ask the spirits to doctor us and to heal us and to bless us, to take care of us. Then we open the door, a little bit of steam escapes, people cool out a little bit, and then we close it again and we go around the circle and people pray. Each person has the opportunity to pray. And when that's done, we open the door again, and then water that's been transformed into the blood of the earth comes in. It's symbolically and spiritually transformed, like the communion wine into the blood of Christ. So we bring in water that's been transformed into the blood of the earth to drink, to heal us. That goes around the circle. And then the door closes again. In the 3rd round, we wait to hear what the spirits have to say to us. We listen in the 3rd round for words from the spirits. And when the door opens, we smoke the sacred pipe, which is called a chanupa, which to us means that the prayers will be answered. And then in the 4th round, then we relax a little bit and celebrate, because you've been purified, you've prayed, and you've listened to the spirits, and your prayers have been answered.
Critics may see the sweat lodge as another new age fad, but like similar heat therapies, the Finnish sauna and the Turkish steam bath, it has been practiced for generations. In fact, many modern therapies are not new to Native American medicine.
If you think about every technique that's used today in alternative medicine, some version of that was being used in this continent 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. What people don't realize is it's only been about 100 years that conventional medicine has held prominence.
And still, Dr. Mel Madrona does not discount the importance of modern medicine in today's healthcare.
In the emergency room, if somebody comes in with a heart attack and heart failure, I'm not going to give them hawthorn berries. Obviously, I'm going to do what I do, which is to give them Lasix and nitro paste and oxygen and things like that.
It is a joining of the sacred and the scientific that Louis Mel Madrona, Coyote Medicine Man, is working to promote.
Every day we face countless numbers of viruses and bacteria. It is the immune system that acts as our first line of defense, creating antibodies that wage war against illness, restoring the body's natural healing process. Diet and exercise are key in maintaining a healthy immune system. And many physicians share the opinion of leading nutritional expert, Dr. James Balch. The importance of a positive frame of mind cannot be underestimated.
The World Wide Web is playing an increasingly important role in modern healthcare. Millions of people daily are flocking to cyberspace in their quest for answers to their own personal health needs. The best websites help you find research on products and treatments with a single mouse click. You can browse the entire site for areas of interest or do an exact keyword search for anything you need to find. If you want to find out more about CoQ10, just search and read to your heart's content. You can even submit questions that will be answered by recognized experts free of charge. Communities where you can exchange information on any health-related topic with people of common interests. Answers, research, and opinion abound in the cyber realm. It's all there and easy to find. Getting medicine, vitamins, medical equipment, and alternative therapies off the web is easy. If it's anywhere in the world, now you can find it on the web.
Sound is very powerful. It can bring us joy, encourage us to get up and dance, make us sad, and even stir up old memories. But can music help to heal us? Ultrasound has been used and accepted as a diagnostic tool, yet sound has never been widely accepted as a healing modality. Some doctors are currently using sound therapy to bring relief to patients and to assist them in their healing process.
Sound has been used as a healing modality in every different culture in the world. And even the fundamental basis of modern medicine, dating back to Hippocrates, sound was even important then.
Dr. Mitchell Gaynor takes an unorthodox approach to healing. As director of the Strang Cancer Prevention Center in New York City, Dr. Gaynor integrates ancient techniques with modern technology.
Apollo was the god of medicine, but also of music. And the legend has it that his son Asclepius was also the patron of medicine and music. And music at a lot of the ancient Greek healing centers, music was such an important part of the healing process.
Dr. Gaynor invites his patients to include meditation and the use of Tibetan musical bowls in their therapy.
I was absolutely amazed at how deeply and rapidly people could go from having literally this tidal wave of fear associated with cancer. You know, the fear of dying, the fear of losing their hair, the fear of who was going to be taking care of their families, all these things. And to be able to go with the sound of these bowls, and then I started working with the quartz crystal bowls, and then really started working with chanting and breathing.
Recent studies on the clinical effect of music are impressive. One such study of critical care heart patients at St. Agnes Hospital in Baltimore showed that listening to 30 minutes of music therapy had the same effect on patients as 10 milligrams of Valium.
What would happen is people were able to create a real sense of silence within themselves. And that sense of silence allowed them to look at whatever anguish or fear was in their life from a totally different perspective.
Dr. Gaynor's patients credit his holistic approach to treatment in their healing.
I explored the singing bowls, I did acupuncture, I went to a nutritionist. I mean, it's all encompassing. I mean, that's Dr. Gaynor's approach to cancer treatment.
I realized that I could use all these things in my life, not just the nutrition, but, you know, I started going to his support group and doing the meditation and doing the visualizations and doing them on my own. And I've bought 3 of the Tibetan bowls and I use them on my own. And it's the kind of thing where, yes, I have a lot of stress, but it's how you handle it that really is the important thing.
With his program, my cancer has been diminished to the point that a once third-stage cancer now is has been eliminated from my body. To my knowledge, my body is cancer-free, and that's what the tests show. And I feel better than I've ever felt in my life.
Close your eyes and just listen to the sound. And as you're listening to the sound, I'm first going to be using the crystal bowl. Everybody is struck by the absolute power and peacefulness that they feel. And many people, when you're actually playing these bowls, you feel it moving throughout your entire body. So you don't just hear it, you literally feel it going through you. Now, these bowls can be struck like that on the end, but they also can be spun, so you can literally move a stick around the edge and get a very different sound.
Exactly how it works is unclear, but Dr. Gaynor believes that the harmonics of the Tibetan bowls enhances the body's ability to relax and to rejuvenate.
Next to stopping smoking and wearing seatbelts, improving your diet is the best thing you can do for your health. There's no doubt about it, losing weight is a challenge. Although the regimen is simple, eat well and exercise, many of us have trouble sticking to it. In fact, 1 in 3 American adults are considered obese, as is 1 of 5 children. Chiropractic medicine has emerged as a prominent form of treatment for numerous ailments, including chronic lower back pain, spinal injuries, and nerve-related conditions. People who receive chiropractic care report many healing benefits. However, many of us are unaware that chiropractors also treat a variety of other conditions, including asthma.
The snap, crackle, and crunch of bones being moved may send chills up your spine, but to chiropractors, it's the sound of a healthy body.
I'll use an analogy with patients to tell them that when they're under a lot of stress, physical stressors, emotional stressors, chemical stressors, the body will sort of blow a fuse. So you can use the analogy of a bone being a fuse, like your house. And when there's too much information running through because of all this stuff coming into us, we literally can blow a fuse, so the bone pops. And until you can replace that bone and put it back where it belongs, the body's going to lose a mental impulse and a nerve impulse.
Chiropractors say that the body's nervous system is the watchdog of our good health. It's constantly sending out and receiving signals from the body about our general condition. But when injury or stress knocks it out of balance, those signals are blocked and the mind loses track of the best way to care for the body.
Somebody may come in with a lot of emotional baggage that's holding them back or causing their health problems. And so we have to address that. I mean, we're not psychologists or psychiatrists, but we're here to help address the issues that are preventing that person from healing.
Chiropractic helps people with a variety of conditions because the main interference or the main way people express themselves is over their nervous system.
Low back pain and neck pain are the most common complaints of patients, but chiropractors say there's a long list of problems that they can help. It includes asthma, allergies, headaches, menstrual pain, vertigo, infant colic, and bladder dysfunction. Chiropractic works by applying a sharp thrust or twist to specific parts of the spine, helping the bones to move back to their natural position and loosening the ligaments and tendons that surround the bones. So the bone not only shifts, but the joint gains a greater range of motion as well.
I like to use the term adjustment for the force that comes from me into someone, so then that force can be taken in by another human being and utilized for their highest good to help them move that bone and free their spinal cord and their nerves. When people really understand that they experience and express their life because they have a nervous system, then they're able to understand that when their nervous system is interfered with, they will have mental and physical problems as a result of that.
Chiropractic has fought a long battle with traditional medicine for acceptance. Only a few decades ago, the American Medical Association condemned chiropractic as quackery. But after numerous scientific studies, most doctors now accept that it can be useful in some cases of back and neck pain, and the majority of insurance companies will pay for chiropractic care. However, there is still a fierce debate over treating children and its usefulness in treating diseases. Spinal manipulation dates back thousands of years. Records show it being used in ancient China, India, Babylonia, Egypt, and even by the father of medicine, Hippocrates, in ancient Greece. But the modern science of chiropractics was founded in 1895 by D.D. Palmer, a self-taught healer from Iowa. Today, chiropractors must be licensed by the state after completing at least 2 years of college and 4 years of chiropractic school. And while experts still debate exactly which conditions it can help, the anecdotal evidence remains strong.
Not only structurally am I doing better, but for example, my eyesight is better, my mind is clearer, I am most of the time in a really good mood.
And years of carrying a barrel on my shoulder gave me nerve problems, and I came here, and the first visit I had a drastic change. I no longer have the twinge in my hand.
Back pain is one of the most common causes of disability for people under the age of 45. Although some doctors may say that they suffer from psychosomatic symptoms, the pain could be very real. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimates that billions of dollars are lost annually due to the disability of back pain sufferers. However, there is much one can do to reduce the effects of lower back problems. Spinal manipulation by a licensed chiropractor has been shown to be effective for pain as well as headaches and digestive disorders. And also, be aware of your posture while sitting, standing, or walking. Building good habits will ensure good spinal health.
The internet is an excellent learning tool, and researching health and medical information is the most sought-after knowledge by far. There are 5 easy steps we can all take to achieve better health. Decide what makes your life worthwhile. Eat well. Exercise. Enjoy some free time every day. And take a multivitamin. With just one simple word search on injury, anyone can discover libraries of health facts, from sprains, strains, and skin wounds to burns and bruising, even carpal tunnel syndrome. However, preventative health is the best health of all. Whether it is how to prevent the common cold, the best ways to avoid cancer, or uncovering natural alternatives to over-the-counter drugs. Whatever the ailment, injury, disease, or affliction, now people of all ages can find information about treatment and therapies on the web.
What if I were to tell you that fat can actually be good for you? Or that you can eat more and lose weight? Some of America's leading nutritional experts believe that there are good fats and bad fats. Let's uncover some of their secrets.
For years, we've heard over and over again that our fat intake directly affects our weight gains, and that fat was also the primary cause for some of society's deadliest diseases.
We declared war on fat 15 years ago, and by and large, Americans have complied with that. We've taken fat out of our diet and replaced it with a fat-free carbohydrate. And in the process, we've become the fattest people on the face of the earth. The reason is that fat is not the reason, dietary fat is not the reason that you're overweight. It's because you're making too much insulin.
So I'd say that we're in a real pickle. We've gotten sicker and we've gotten fatter since we've been low fat.
Nutritionist and author Ann Louise Gittelman says fats are referred to scientifically as lipids. Lipids include fats, oils, and fat-like substances that are greasy, such as cholesterol, butterfat, and vegetable oil. Dietary fat is available primarily from 2 major sources, animal and vegetable. Animal fats tend to be solid, and vegetable fats tend to be liquid. According to Gittelman, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates are the 3 basic ingredients for creating and maintaining life. However, she says fats have many other benefits.
It stabilizes your blood sugar. By the way, it's good for your nerves, it's great for your hair, good for your skin, wonderful for strong nails, and you will get thin because you don't overeat a lot of junk or processed carbohydrates in place of the missing fat calories. The key is to know which are the good fats and which are the bad fats.
There are 3 basic fat groups: saturates, pork, lamb, beef fats, coconut oil, palm oils, and the like; monounsaturates, found in vegetables, legumes, and seed sources; and polyunsaturates, milk, fish oils, lean meats, and from vegetable sources such as soy, corn, flax seeds, walnuts, and wheat germ. But with all these choices, how do we go about selecting the fats that are good for us?
It's really easy to understand which fats are good and which fats are not. I mean, what you just have to take a look at is which are the natural fats. And those fats would be those that come from seeds and nuts and that are contained naturally in foods like olives as well as avocados. The artificial fats, the man-made fats that find their way into margarines and vegetable shortening, and even those that are processed vegetable oils, are those that are unhealthy, and those that we've been finding over the years are actually contributing to cancer as well as problems with our immune system and aging. But I think the best part of my message, which really is eat fat and lose weight, which is of course the title of my book, I think the best part of that is you're going to start enjoying food again.
And more Americans are beginning to agree with these findings.
I had heart condition, and and she taught me about flaxseed oil. I never heard of that before. And it just turned my life around. I started eating the right foods, the right fats. I went from an inclusion of 95% in my right coronary artery down to 50%. I am now vertical now. I was scheduled to do a bypass.
I started having joint problems in my knees and my ankles from running. I've been a runner for many years, and I was following a low-fat, carbohydrate diet. And she told me after I went to see her that what you need to do is go home and take 2 tablespoons of flaxseed oil. So I did, on a daily basis, 2 tablespoons of flaxseed oil for 2 weeks. And after that, I never had another pain.
With this new interest in fat, researchers have been busy studying the effects of fat and fat byproducts on the human body. They've come up with some remarkable conclusions.
We know that clinically certain fats have the ability to really keep the metabolic fires stoked. It actually can help those little fat-burning mitochondria that are in every single cell in your body become accelerated. And we've particularly seen that with another wonderful oil out there that is known as evening primrose oil. And we have found through clinical studies that a little bit of evening primrose oil, particularly with people that have to lose at least 10 pounds and do nothing else but just take evening primrose oil, which is found as a botanical in most health food stores, will not only allow them to lose weight, but will boost their metabolism and is extremely helpful for those of us that may suffer from hangovers.
Another fat that's been used for centuries in Europe, called flaxseed, has recently been shown to be particularly important to women.
We're now finding that it's important in terms of the prevention and perhaps the control of breast cancer, which is epidemic in this day and age.
Gittleman says that the latest research from Germany suggests that flaxseed combined with a dairy product can help protect against certain kinds of cancer, but she says it's also great with other foods.
I also use it on air pop popcorn, by the way. I think it just gives me an excuse to eat popcorn because I want to taste the flaxseed oil. It has a nutty, very buttery taste, and all it takes is 1 to 2 tablespoons in no-heat recipes. It's a great salad dressing, and it can be used in yogurt.
Gittleman relishes the change that fats are enjoying in medical and nutritional circles. Her final advice is,
bring back the cheese, or bring back the nuts. Bring back avocados, for heaven's sakes. They're heart healthy, and they're good fats because they contain what we call the smart fats that are so good for your brain. So again, fats work with every arena, every organ of your system.
Our modern diet can lack the necessary nutrients required for optimal health. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, more than half of all Americans suffer from a deficiency in at least one important nutrient. Vitamin and mineral supplements cannot replace a healthy diet, but they can provide valuable assistance in restoring balance to the body's well-being. You don't have to exercise for hours. Recent studies show even short activity breaks during the day can add up. Choices. In today's world, there's an unprecedented variety of different foods available to us. There are so many options, in fact, that at times we may easily feel overwhelmed. The choices we make in what we eat, however, may have great consequences for our future. Some nutritionists say that the food we choose today may affect who we are and what our health may be tomorrow.
Deborah Stark is the author of Deborah's Natural Gourmet Cookbook. She's also an avid shopper. Her family has been involved in natural foods and complementary medicine since before she was born. She says the key to shopping for health is information.
If I had to impart any words of wisdom for people shopping in natural food stores or any store, it would be to read labels, to educate themselves to the quality of ingredients and to what difference the ingredients that they're consuming make to their health and well-being.
Deborah says one of the best ways a consumer can ensure quality is to choose organic foods.
The primary difference between organic produce and produce that's grown commercially is that organic is grown without herbicides, without pesticides, without chemical fertilizers. It has higher nutrient values. It's safer for our kids. It's safer for our farmers. It's safer for the farmlands and for our planet.
When choosing meats, Deborah also suggests choosing organically grown meat.
When you eat organically grown meat, you know at least that the animals have been treated humanely, and you know that they've been fed grains that have been grown without pesticides and herbicides and without chemical fertilizers. And I always think that if an animal has been treated better, that its meat also has to be healthier and better for us. Of course, we want to eat eggs from chickens that are happy and free to run around and scratch and get their own worms, and we want chickens that aren't fed any antibiotics and without cages. We just want to make sure that those are happy little birds. Some of the things you want to look for when you buy your breads is that the grains really are whole grain, that they're not, doesn't say wheat flour, which is white flour. You want to look for things that say organic for those higher nutrient values. You want to look for sweeteners that are good sweeteners like barley malt or honey or molasses or maple syrup.
Deborah also says the way we prepare our food is also very important.
Kale is called king of calcium, and it's rated the #2 vegetable in terms of overall nutrient content by Center for Science and the Public Interest. And the calcium it has is really user-friendly for the body. So one of my favorite ways to use kale is to chop it up and steam it and then just dress it with olive oil, lemon juice, and garlic. Great.
According to Deborah, the bulk food section of the store can hold a lot of riches, even for people who might be considered culinarily impaired.
I love to use these whole grain rices. I love to use this organic brown rice. It makes a terrific rice pudding. It makes it really sort of creamy and rich. The black rice makes a very dramatic counterpoint for steamed vegetables like snow peas and carrots and broccoli and cauliflower. One of my favorite combinations with lentils and rice, of course, is in soups. You can't go wrong with a lentil rice soup. No matter how bad a cook you think you are, you throw lentils, you throw rice into a pot, a little garlic, a little celery, a little carrot, and you have soup.
And Deborah says don't forget those nut butters.
Some of my favorites are always the sesame tahini, which is used in other countries in the world in lieu of dairy products for their calcium content. And granted, when you read the label, it doesn't say that there's a lot of calcium.
And because none of us lives by bread alone, Deborah says a little intelligent splurging is okay.
When you go into a natural food store, there are all kinds of chocolates. That's not to say that it's the food you should take to a desert island in order to survive, but there's nothing wrong with a little indulgence every once in a while. You know, everything in balance and harmony, but read labels.
Yoga means union. It involves ancient physical techniques that help to unify body, mind, and spirit. For many people today, yoga is not only a popular sense of exercises, but a way of life. Believed to have originated in India, yoga combines breath and meditation with simple stretches and poses, including a few that are sure to stretch the imagination. Experts believe that yoga produces a calming effect on the mind and body, while it relieves stress and promotes muscle tone.
Yoga is among the oldest healthcare systems in the world. Researchers say that yoga has made a significant impact in the fields of medicine and holistic healthcare. Yoga also emphasizes lifestyle changes such as diet, body detoxification, and meditation, depending on the variety of yoga one chooses to practice.
Some methods of yoga focus, though, primarily upon the body, on physical exercises. Others focus primarily on meditation, like how to achieve a calmer state of mind. There's some people who focus primarily upon the breathing practices. And then there's some yoga that puts it all together.
Yoga teaches that if the mind is agitated and stressed, one's physical health is compromised. Research has clearly demonstrated the benefits of yoga.
One of the benefits is a strong respiratory system. Due to the movement, it creates a very powerful circulatory system. Other benefits are very, we've all heard, is the greater flexibility and strength. With the balance of flexibility and strength, we gain endurance as well.
Yoga has transformed my entire life, and it makes me feel wonderful.
The Tri-Yoga was gentle enough to begin with that it was very good for my back. It strengthened it and released the spine so that it was limber, and it's made all the difference in the world. Now my back is very strong, and I feel great.
Through yoga, we find that we really need to have a balance between the body and mind. So it's a body-mind exercise.
Callie Ray, director of the Tri-Yoga Center in Santa Cruz, California, has received international recognition for developing the Tri-Yoga system that incorporates asana, postures, pranayama, breath control, and meditation.
Well, in our method, we have 7 levels, something for everyone. And it starts off with basics, and that gives the basic foundation for everyone. But then it progresses, like level 1 is the Earth series, so it gives the foundation. Level 2 is the water. It starts to teach more connecting movements, and how do you connect one posture to the next posture. And level 3 is our fire sequence. So it's going to be a much more intense strengthening approach to it. Level 4 is the air, so it's more fluid. You really do, we make circular movements. We no longer are just making the straight vertical movements. And 5 is the ether. It's very expansive, very meditative. So each of our levels offers one of those different aspects. So in Tri-Yoga, all of those different needs are incorporated through our basics and 7 levels.
Yoga has gone from a recreational pastime to being among the most sought-after forms of exercise. Enthusiastic interest in yoga has sparked the media to call it the latest fitness trend. Those who practice it say it promotes their mental, physical, and spiritual well-being.
I love it. It's been wonderful for me. People ask me why I feel so good and why I look so good, and I really attribute it to the yoga.
Yoga is one choice toward maintaining your personal health care needs and making a commitment to healthy living.
Massage is believed to promote health by moving lymph, a milky white fluid that carries impurities away from the tissues, promoting better cell health. Is there such a thing as an inner energy in the body? If so, what exactly is it, and where does it come from? Many Asian cultures not only believe in this concept of energy or qi, but they base their healing practices on its principles. Masters of Tai Chi believe that their practice is deeply rooted in spirituality and can bring the body back into proper balance. Can Tai Chi really affect one's health?
Tai Chi, just its name evokes images of grace, beauty, and mysticism. But exactly what is Tai Chi? David Dorian Ross is an internationally recognized lecturer, author, and teacher of Tai Chi. He describes Tai Chi as if it were a family.
The father of Tai Chi would definitely be Chinese martial arts. From martial arts in China, we get a particular structure of the movements, so that when you watch Tai Chi, even though the movements look very gentle and soft, they are all very effective self-defense techniques. And so from martial arts, we get that physical structure and utility. The mother of Tai Chi would definitely be traditional Chinese medicine. And in Chinese medicine, we have a theory of an intrinsic energy, which we call qi, which literally means the spirit breath or life force. The qi circulates inside you, and the uninterrupted flow of qi is how you define perfect health. And in Chinese medicine, there's also a feeling that physical movement of the body stimulates the flow of qi. So from Chinese medicine, we get life, energy, and movement. The nurse, if you will, that brings it all together, that sort of ties these two other aspects to Tai Chi, would be a form of philosophy found in China known as Taoism. Taoism has many different concepts, but at the heart of them all is one particular thought, and that is that balance and harmony is the most important thing.
However, Tai Chi is not simply for the young and agile. Victoria Mulgilner is a certified Tai Chi instructor in Tempe, Arizona. Her students come in all ages.
People feel the effects, and within the first class they go, wow, I never felt this energy, because we hear the word energy, but we don't know what it means. You can also do it in a small space, so you don't need to do it like in a large amount of space.
And her students say they love it.
I have had 13 or 14 surgeries, and I think had I found this sooner, I would have been able to get rid of those surgeries, find an alternative using Tai Chi, Qigong, and some of the other, what we call alternative medicines, which are really very traditional in China.
I had arthritis, osteoarthritis. I still haven't, but the Tai Chi has helped with that a lot. And especially, I found that I was allergic to the aspirin I was taking for the pain, and when I had to give up the aspirin, I think the Tai Chi helped me deal with the pain.
Basically, when we're doing the movements, it's important that you become soft. It's a way of life. So when you move with the energy, it's a matter of that gently pushing and letting go. And what I talk about is that you're like a bamboo tree. You learn to flow in the wind. So when things start to come at you, you learn to get out of the way.
It's this spiritual approach to life that Victoria sees as the very essence of Tai Chi.
When we talk about the ideals of peace of mind, of calm, of connecting with nature, with the birds, of learning to not get pushed around by life circumstances.
If free, uninterrupted circulation of qi is good health, then when the qi stops flowing, all kinds of ill health situations arise, and not just sickness, but also injury. So if your qi is stuck in one part of your body, you may suddenly find yourself blowing your knee out or having injuries to other parts of the body. It's also responsible for aging process and eventually death when your qi is all gone.
With the results Victoria and David have seen with Tai Chi, they both agree that its future is very promising.
We're experiencing a new resurgence of awareness of mind-body activities like yoga and Tai Chi, and I think that in the coming couple of years you'll see many more people getting involved in it. When that happens, I think that it will allow more people the opportunity to gain good health in ways that aren't open to them right now.
The body is a precision machine. And as with any machine, inactivity can cause a breakdown. An ongoing study at Harvard University has followed the health practices of thousands of participants. Their findings show that regular moderate exercise lowers stress, decreases the chance of heart disease, and increases mental clarity. Dr. Judith Lassiter, physical therapist and author, also promotes the benefits of yoga, stretching, and breathing exercises as a relief to many ailments.
Every day, the body requires nutrients for energy, growth, and performance. Sports nutrition is a growing field with vast amounts of products to aid in your physical performance. From amino acids to herbs, protein bars and powders to metabolic factors that enhance performance, find it on the web. The better the overall nutrient status of an active individual is, the less likely they will incur injuries during an athletic performance or recreational activity. To find information on high-performance products or special nutritional requirements for your specific activity, just click on the web. Looking for articles on the latest facts and finds about natural health solutions for training requirements, sports stamina, muscle fitness, or injury prevention? It's all on the web. Plan your personal nutritional program or have your sports nutritional questions answered by experts. Every individual, whether a high-performance athlete or those who engage in leisure time activities, requires adequate number of calories, carbohydrates, protein, dietary fats, and water for a healthy body. Find out what your requirements are for a healthier life and a better performance. It's on the web.
Staying in good physical shape is not just another passing trend, it's here to stay. Physical fitness and body training can play an important role in our overall health. Many of us believe that exercise enables us to lose weight and tone muscles, but does it really affect our health? And can exercise actually improve our health and help us to live longer?
What is physical fitness? Trying to look your best or feel your best, or is it something more?
There's no denying that when you look good, you feel better. And there's no denying that exercise changes the shape of your body.
Physical fitness is defined as a condition that enables us to perform daily tasks vigorously with enough leftover energy to enjoy leisure activities, meet emergency demands, and carry on where an unfit person could not.
I really do think that the mind and the body are connected. And when you're taking good care of your body, it sort of is linked to taking good care of your mind. And when you work out, you really are able to free up your mind to sometimes think more clearly than you otherwise would. Sometimes my best ideas and my best, I'm a writer, sometimes my best sort of lot of thought progressions come from being of clear mind or come from having just gone for a jog in the park.
When I don't work out, I don't feel as great. So it's really made a significant difference in terms of, I think, my mental awareness, my energy level, and just overall, the way I feel about myself.
Feeling good isn't a bad reason to go to the gym, but are there other reasons?
Exercise is the answer to almost everything. It helps to prevent major diseases such as heart disease, adult onset diabetes, stroke, hypertension. It helps to prevent minor diseases like colds and headaches. It relieves stress. It makes you feel happier. It gives you a sense of confidence and self-esteem. It boosts your energy. If it was a pill, if we could put exercise into a pill, Viagra would have this many of the prescriptions written, and exercise would have them all.
Ongoing medical studies show, in addition to the benefit of muscle gain, the body's metabolism is increased, body fat is reduced, bone density increases, gastrointestinal health is improved, blood pressure is reduced, back pain and arthritis are relieved, and the overall health of the heart and the cardiovascular system is improved. And the experts say it's never too late to begin an exercise program.
What they found out with most people when they get to a certain age, they can still build muscle after the age of 60. You're healthier, you live better longer. You're not necessarily maybe live longer, but the quality of life is better. They've taken people in nursing homes that were 70 and 80 years old, put them on a weightlifting program and had them ambulatory. And they could do things that they hadn't been able to do in some time.
What most people want to know when they get to the gym is, what do I do? And when will I see results?
As a personal trainer, I start most people out on a 3-day-a-week program for like an hour. We do some cardio, and then we lift weights. We may start with do some chest and shoulders, some triceps, and then maybe the next workout we're doing legs, back, and biceps, or we may do a little bit each workout of each body part. It depends on each individual's needs and where they need to lose. Some people, instead of doing 20 minutes of cardio, I may have them do more cardio. You start out using lighter weights, because not everybody, the problem is everybody wants to get in and see how much they can lift. Well, that's not the purpose. The purpose is to make more muscle tone. The more muscle tone you have, the more muscle you have, the faster you burn up body fat. And that's kind of a misconception. Everybody goes, well, I'm going to lose weight, then I'm going to start lifting weights. Well, it's better to lift weights while you're losing weights, because the more muscle you have, the faster you burn off the body fat.
But what about those people who can't afford a gym, let alone a personal trainer?
If you don't have exercise in your life, get it in. And get it in through more activity. Garden. Clean your house vigorously. Walk upstairs. We all have to go someplace, but you don't have to park in front. You can park a quarter of a mile away. The #1 excuse for people is they don't have time. Well, we all have time. Everyone has time right this minute to watch television. You could be working out while you're watching television.
As the average lifespan for American men and women continues to increase, the goal is to make those added years healthy ones.
By 2005, over 50% of our population is going to be over 50. The more shape these people are, the more they're going to enjoy their life, the more functional they're going to be.
It's not an option. It must be in people's lives. You cannot choose anymore to exercise or not exercise. We know too much about what the benefits are.
That's why we lift weights.
Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Beethoven, and Mozart. Although these great artists have long since passed on, we continue to experience their presence through their work. What is it about art that expands our vision and captures our hearts? Is it the subject matter, the colors, the sound? Or is it something much deeper than our eyes can see or ears can hear? Could art also be a way to relieve stress in one's life and even treat disease?
In today's modern world, many of us would agree that there is very little spare time to develop our artistic skills. With the varied demands of everyday life, who has time to stop and smell the roses?
Well, according to a group of educators who use art as a healing force, taking the time to do something creative on a regular basis might be more important than we ever imagined. Dr. Michael Samuels, author of Creative Healing, is an advocate of the use of creativity as a healing tool. Dr. Samuels is also a pioneer in the use of guided imagery.
Guided imagery is a process of visualization in which the patient begins to see their body as healthy, thus creating a physiological change. Studies have shown that there is a measurable result.
Doing guided imagery, I believe, is an extremely powerful healing technique. It's a mind-body therapy that awakens the immune system, enhances it, causes a physiology of relaxation to take place.
Dee Russell, founder of Therapeutic Entertainment Products, has created a unique line of products to inspire creativity as an aid to healing.
People ask me all the time, do you have to be sick to do this? And of course the answer is no. We're all healing, we're all recovering at one level or another, and it's just a lot of fun, and we really hope to encourage people to integrate creative expression into their daily lives.
One place where people have integrated creative expression into their daily lives is the Arts Genesis Center in New York City. The Arts Genesis Center offers a wide range of programs that integrate the arts with education. One of their programs serves children who are autistic.
Children who have autism or even severe or multiple disabilities, there's something going on there that none of us know what it's about. They have an incredible resiliency, and you wonder, where do they get that resiliency? It's our jobs to find the key that unlocks their door, and that key unlocks not only their mind but their spirit.
So what did you like most about playing in a group like this?
Playing drum stuff, rapping stuff, doing dancing stuff, everything.
Do you think that you listen better than before because of working with all these other people in the musical group?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Arts Genesis was founded by Kathleen Gaffney and her husband Roger Shea.
We have a special devotion to children who have disabilities, and we work with all kinds of students, gifted and talented students, regular students, from K through 12th grade.
The couple's inspiration for starting Arts Genesis came with the birth of their daughter Carrie Ann, who was diagnosed as autistic at 11 months of age. However, they believed that through programs that focused on healing with art and music, Carrie Ann went on to make a spontaneous recovery, which doctors have called a medical miracle.
You all can improve in what you do. You never can give up.
Do not be afraid to be. Differences teach. Do not be afraid to sing your heart's song with honor and love. Walk gently. Sing loudly.
teach, teach, teach.
A Hawaiian study found that women who regularly eat the most soy products, such as tofu, soy milk, and roasted soy nuts, have less than half the risk of endometrial cancer as do women who eat no soy.
Healthy living to me means having a positive attitude in the activities that you are going to participate in daily.
Doing what I need to do to feel happy and feel good about myself.
Have a good sense of humor. You know, you can take a lot of tragedies and a lot of things that are tough, but if you can kind of find some good in and laugh from them, I think that keeps you pretty healthy. It makes bad food taste better too.
Books by featured authors and on the subjects discussed in today's program may be purchased at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. For additional information on this program, visit HealthyLivingForYou.com.
Healthy living to me means getting the right kind of exercise, balanced diet, lots of fresh air.
Spending time with trees and little children in the sunshine, turning off the old thinker, resting and relaxing a bit.
And spending lots of time enjoying what you have.
Yes.
Combination of everything to life is the spiritual and the physical and the emotional, they all tie in together. And for me, yep, I want to get rich, but I want to be healthy first, and that's my main focus in life.
Being a parent is one of the greatest challenges and one of the most rewarding experiences in life. Dr. William Sears, a pediatrician and author of many books on parenting, has developed a style of caring for children based on what he calls attachment parenting. Dr. Sears covers many aspects of infant care and provides us with guidelines to help us be the best parents we can be.
Parents often will come into my office for prenatal visits before they have the baby, and they ask the question, doctor, how can we build a happy baby? And I give them the 5 baby B's. We call these attachment tools of attachment parenting. Birth bonding, keeping your baby with you as much as possible right after birth. Room in with your baby. Breastfeed your baby, that's the second baby B. Baby wearing, carry your baby, wear your baby in a baby sling many, many hours a day. Babies love to be in arms and carried. Bed sharing, sleeping with your baby. It's a wonderful parenting style of the 90s to sleep with your baby. And the 5th baby B is belief in the signal value of your baby's cry. Babies cry for a reason. Listen to that baby's cry. Think of a baby's cry as communication, not manipulation.
Proponents of attachment parenting emphasize the importance of breastfeeding and allowing the mother and child to decide how long is long enough. While not all doctors agree with Sears' recommendations, the medical statistics for prolonged breastfeeding indicate remarkable advantages. Studies show decreases in infant mortality rates. Illnesses are less frequent. Gastrointestinal and urinary tract infections are reduced. Respiratory infections are reduced. Immune systems are strengthened. And mothers benefit as well. Research indicates a decrease in the occurrence of breast and uterine cancers among women who breastfeed for 6 months or longer in their lifetime. And even IQ is affected. Those children who receive a longer period of breastfeeding score higher on standard intelligence tests.
Which kids turn out the best? Who are the kids you really like in your neighborhood? What do these parents do? I find these parents practice a high-touch style of parenting that we call attachment parenting. You hold your baby a lot. You nurse your baby a lot. You respond to the baby's cries. That's a very high-touch style of attachment parenting.
One of Dr. Sears' most controversial recommendations is bed sharing, which he promotes as an effective means for family bonding. He believes that families should sleep together until the children naturally want to sleep on their own. While this may not be welcomed in every home, many families love sharing a bed.
It's funny because a lot of people tell me if you have the baby sleeping with you, they're never going to leave. Mine do leave, and they go to their own bed and they stay there. And they know they're always welcome, but they don't need to come. They get along very well together, and I think they're pretty happy.
If I'm with my babies, nursing and holding and with them all day long, how does the dad get a chance to bond with a newborn?
I like this idea of the family bed, which is a very controversial idea, and most parents get very afraid of the idea of a child being in your bed and never leaving your bed and affecting your lives sexually, affecting your bonding with your husband. What I have found is that the family bed actually teaches security, reduces fears, raises self-esteem in all family members.
And here now, all 4 of us sleep in the same bed right now. I mean, my son is 3, my daughter is 1, and all 4 of us, plus the cat, all sacked in together, and we love it.
You can't spoil a newborn baby. Forget this fear of spoiling. Something like food spoils when it's left alone. Children spoil when left alone. You're not going to spoil your baby by carrying your baby a lot and responding nurturingly to the baby's cries. Forget the fear of spoiling.
While no one can guarantee that attachment parenting creates a better person, Dr. Sears hopes his work will remove the word dysfunctional as a common term for the average family.
Because my job as a parent is to let them know, more than anything else, the first 2 years of life is that they are loved, that they are worthy of love, and that this is a safe world. And they're not going to be left at home or left in a bed to cry themselves to sleep, and they're not going to be left with someone else. They are taken care of. They are safe.
The time in your arms, at your breast, in your bed is a relatively short time in the total life of that child. But the memories of love and availability last a lifetime.
Community is a place where people can come together to share information, ideas, and values. Finding and sharing the latest health information is easy and fun on the web. Meet new friends, develop a network group, and discover how to make healthier choices for your life. Check out the community bulletin board for the latest health topics, how different diets work for some people and not for others. Find out about products that others have tried and found helpful, and even discover a healthy new recipe for tonight's dinner. Share your ideas and findings by posting on the community bulletin board. Share with others how your health choices have improved your life and that of your family. You can access information and network with a community of people who are also interested in living a healthy life. Through the web community, you can learn how others deal with breast cancer, weight loss issues, stress, coping with loss, women's health issues, or raising healthy children in a fast food world. Get the latest updates on health foods and nutrients, or go shopping with friends. It's all on the web.
What is integrative medicine? Integrative medicine is where a doctor combines conventional forms of treatment with natural therapies. Some doctors using this approach have reported that the combination of modalities can be beneficial to their patients. What are some examples of how natural and conventional approaches to healing are being applied?
Integrative medicine, I think, is the medicine of the future. It's what people want. I think doctors are not being trained to provide it at the moment. We're trying to correct that at the University of Arizona. Integrative medicine looks at the whole person. It looks at physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of illness, and it makes use of all available modalities of treatment to promote healing in the human body. So it's, above all, healing-oriented medicine that works from the premise that the body can heal itself if you give it a chance.
Dr. Andrew Weil is a pioneer in the integrative medicine movement. This once controversial approach to healing is now being practiced in clinics across the country. In upstate New York at University Hospital's Complementary Health Center, Dr. Samuel Benjamin incorporates a wide range of alternative methods to treat his patients.
We provide services in acupuncture, guided visual imaging, or mind-body medicine, tai chi and yoga, osteopathic manipulation. We're exploring the use of chiropractic with the community and getting involved in research in that area. We look at herbal medicine. We're exploring homeopathy and use it to a certain amount, and we're collaborating with colleagues around the world in that regard. So we cover a lot of areas. We're thinking about dance and exploring this within the university because our program is not just in the medical school. It's in social welfare. We deal with social workers, health sciences and technology management. Even people who are learning how to look in a microscope and read slides of pap smears are learning about complementary medicine. We deal with the School of Nursing and the School of Dentistry and the School of Medicine. So we're looking at a broad array of areas to train people. We're trying to train our community, train health professionals, and develop research so that we can have better reliability about what works and what doesn't work.
Many of Dr. Benjamin's patients come to him after exhausting every other possible avenue of treatment.
We came to see if we can get some extra help for my son Brian, who has been diagnosed with a communication disorder when he was 3 years old, and since then has been labeled as autistic. We wanted to find some alternative solution to any medications because we don't approve or believe in that unless it's a last resort, and hopefully we won't have to go that route.
Brian is an example of that, diagnosed with a communication disorder and sent us by a pediatrician. His family was desperate. They had lost hope. They were told that the medication for his particular problem would be of dubious value, and they were concerned about its toxicity. So was their pediatrician. So when they came to us, we offered them some options. And you know, there really isn't a lot that is that special, because you see, a lot of integrative medicine is common sense. It's not necessarily related to the product that we use, but the way that we used it. We recommended homeopathy, not because we know that there's evidence that it works, but because we thought it was a reasonable option to try. We didn't think it would do any harm, and we had nothing else to give him. There were no other avenues. We got involved with his family. We encouraged prayer and spirituality. Even though we were realistic, we gave them hope. Those things make a big difference.
Basically, when we use alternative practices for medicines that we're doing with Brian, we have been told that there's no proof that anything could help him, but we've also been told that there's no harm that can be done by using these practices. And we've seen the progress, so we know they're helping.
Supporters of integrative medicine emphasize its individual approach to treatment.
But a lot of what it's utilizing is the healing relationship between two human beings, one of whom at that moment happens to be a healthcare provider and the other of whom at that moment happens to be a patient. And within that space, a lot of healing takes place. And then utilizing what might be best for that given individual, as apart from any other person who walks into the room, for that given individual to help them heal, let their own body utilize whatever it can, along with other activities, conventional and alternative, so that they can heal themselves.
While critics may point to a lack of scientific study validating its results, the practitioners of integrative medicine remain faithful.
I don't know what the American Medical Association thinks about our overall concepts, but I do know that they are disturbed about the development or introduction of complementary and alternative medicine services before what they feel is reasonable evidence. I share their concern about evidence, but I also am very concerned about the large number of prescription drugs that I believe has been estimated to be 40 to 60% of all prescription drugs used in the United States that have been written off-label, that is to say, without any studies to support this use and without the approval of the Food and Drug Administration. So there needs to be one standard of care. If we're going to apply it to alternative medicine, then we're going to apply it to everything else. If not, I think they should take their hands off and stop saying things because it's somewhat hypocritical.
As we enter a new era, the very nature of healthcare may be changing as people take a more hands-on role in their own therapy. And thanks to visionary physicians like Dr. Weil, the prognosis is a healthy one.
I would say that this movement is unstoppable, that this is clearly what patients desire and that economic forces are driving things in this direction. So it's very much in the interest of physicians to work to correct defects in their medical education and also to lobby for medical schools to change their curriculum so that they're preparing physicians to provide the services that people want and need. And I would also say from my own experience that practicing medicine in this way is much more rewarding, that you work with patients who are motivated, who want the information to help them make changes in their lifestyle, and you can often produce very real positive changes in how people feel.
In a survey of 112 family practice patients, Nancy C. Elder, MD, and her colleagues at Oregon Health Science University in Portland found that only half of those who used alternative medicine told their doctors about it. One of the places where the public learns about complementary and alternative medical options are natural health expos. Medicine can be a difficult subject to understand. The expos help to make it more accessible. One of the key components in natural healing is to put the information and the power back into the patient's hands, and thereby enable all of us to make better choices in our healthcare.
Current statistics show that Americans spend over $25 billion a year on natural products. New Hope Media, a natural products industry publisher, holds the Natural Products Expo West in Anaheim each year as a forum for manufacturers to connect with retailers. Although not open directly to the public, Expo West focuses on consumer education and has established guidelines for exhibitors such as product labeling standards. During the four-day convention, retailers from around the world attend a variety of continuing education programs and seminars on organics, natural healing, business strategy, and nutrition.
This has really become a place for the whole industry to come together, and when I say the whole industry, it really includes now, which is the exciting evolution that we've had, professionals. So it includes MDs, and it includes chiropractors, and it includes, we're finding a lot of interest from registered nurses and nurse practitioners.
And what is the goal?
We are trying to make this show something that buyers, when they come here, are completely comfortable that everything at the show is about health and healing, which is, I think, just a very critical thing, that this industry has finally been able to position itself as a health and healing industry.
New Hope reports attendance has grown to over 30,000 people. This includes over 10,000 people from the retail sector and over 2,200 exhibitor booths.
It doesn't take much to really buy into the passion that exists in this industry, and the vision and the passion then, back in the late 80s and the early 90s, was to try to deliver this healing model to the entire American public somehow.
Expo attendees speak passionately about nutritional supplements and consumer education.
I don't know how long we're going to go before the public catches on that the biological action of virtually every prescription drug can be duplicated and mimicked with natural food supplements. But as more of the public learns about this, we'll have people really living much healthier and not having to run to the doctor all the time, and certainly not having to fill out those big, expensive prescriptions for all these medicines.
As nutritional supplements and other natural products become more mainstream, trade shows like Expo West that focus on education are being held across the country for retailers and consumers alike.
The growing interest in health and fitness is having an impact on the way America does business. A growing number of employers are adding alternative health care options to their employee benefit packages. Chiropractic care, massage, and acupuncture are among the many new treatments available to America's workforce. Certainly, consumer demand has played a role in this new practice, and the number of alternative health care insurers will continue to increase as the emphasis on healthy living grows. How would you like to be thought of as laughing your patients back to good health? Patch Adams is a medical doctor with a unique approach to medicine. He brings humor and laughter into the healing process. Patch is the driving force behind the Gesundheit Institute and has inspired a movie based on his life.
Humor is something we usually don't associate with medicine unless you've seen the movie Patch Adams. The real Patch Adams, founder of the Gesundheit Institute, is committed to keeping humor and human relationships at the core of his medical practice.
In the entire history of the healing arts, the meaningful thing has been the love between patient and caregiver, that the power, the bedside manner is about that. It's about the relationship that the people have, not about the information or the degrees, whether or not they were the head of the department at Johns Hopkins. That's their academic standing and their academic credentials. But their bedside manner, their value as a healer. When a patient says, "I love my doctor," they're not talking about information. They're talking about the interaction, the confidence, the attention that healer gave to them, and that's relationship.
Events in Patch's childhood led him to a lifelong commitment to serving humanity.
I was raised on Army bases, born in May 28, 1945. Grew up overseas, had a great mother, an older brother. Was a nerd, mostly in math and science. Grew up odd, was a class clown. My father died when I was 16 as a result of being a soldier. Broke my heart. Moved back to America. In the South, immediately got involved in the civil rights movement. Was shocked by injustice. Could not understand why so many people ignored injustice. So much so that I didn't want to live and tried to die. Was hospitalized 3 times. The 3rd hospitalization, I decided to make my life and become an intentional person, and decided to serve humanity in medicine and to never have another bad day.
The Gesundheit Institute in Northern Virginia was founded in 1971 by Patch and several colleagues. This home-based family medical center has seen more than 15,000 people.
It's a hospital. The project started out as a model to address all the problems of care delivery in one model. That's what we're about. So we don't charge money, don't carry malpractice insurance, don't accept third-party reimbursement. We integrate all the healing arts. Initial interviews with patients are 3 or 4 hours long. The staff lives in the hospital, so you come and stay with your families in a big home, in a home-style setting. And we fully integrate to address the issue of being well and to really find vital living. We fully integrate medicine with performing arts and crafts and agriculture and nature, education, recreation, and social service is all part of the essential ingredients to finding and living healthy.
Patch travels around the world, spreading his unique approach to healing through humor.
One doesn't do love or clowning to get laughter or love. They do it to give it.
The future of healthcare, according to Patch, revolves around giving back to one's community, friends, and family.
If we don't start seeing that what we give away makes us wealthy and healthy, not what we take, we're not going to have any, there's a future of healthcare.
To Patch Adams, the Gesundheit Institute is an example of what is at the heart of true medicine, human relationships.
If you're not falling in love with humanity, in love with people, in the healing interaction, how can you see that what you're doing is anything other than a business?
A physician that touches our spirit, awakens our faith, caresses our wounds, makes us laugh, and helps facilitate our healing abilities is what medicine is all about for Dr. Patch Adams.
Buzzing words from the skies are not cloudy all day.
Do you know what medical intuition is? Don't feel alone. Most of us have never heard the term, let alone understand what it is. But do you know that there's a whole field of study dedicated to medical intuition? Basically, a medical intuitive is considered to be someone who has the ability to diagnose a person's disease just by looking at them. Some intuitives reportedly don't even need to look at the person. They seem to just know what the problem is.
The essence of medical intuition is teaching people to be responsible for their own healing, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
Carol Rittberger and Marcia Emery are medical intuitives. A medical intuitive is someone who helps people understand how emotional, psychological, and spiritual energy can lie at the root of an illness. These practitioners work by using their intuition skills to see the human energy system and determine where there are energy blockages.
The medical intuitive uses their intuition to go in and get a sense of what that person is and who they are, why they do the things they do, their biographical history, and then use that intuition to interpret it.
So we're using this intuitive stethoscope to go inside and see what is out of balance, physically, mentally, emotionally, and or spiritually.
Many conventional physicians will refer patients to Carol when they find that they have exhausted all the options that Western medicine has to offer.
You're in a real growth time right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah, opening up, new things coming in, looking for new information. It feels like a new sense of direction. A lot of information coming in, a lot of confidence. Really kind of a focus in who you are and what you would like to accomplish and purpose and things like that. This golden color, when it shows up in the aura, lets me know that you're at a growth time.
My doctor had no idea what was wrong with me and put me through all types of tests, scans, all kinds of things, and I wasn't getting any answers. I was getting worse, and so I just would seek out a medical intuitive. I felt like she could give me some of the answers, and she did.
I think that once we develop that intuition, anybody can use it as a diagnostics tool to read where they are and to look at their life. A medical intuitive has to always remember and to never cross, and that is to remember that we are not doctors and to not get caught up in other people's needs, to have a lot of information, to not get caught up in people wanting us to diagnose what's going on. So we have a real fine line that we walk, and it has to be done with a lot of responsibility and integrity. Trust is being brought forward, and I believe that we're going to make a difference. I believe that medical intuition will eventually be part of the diagnostic team and the healing teams of the future. That I've got a lot of relaxation, meaning a lot of the muscles aren't tense, the spine.
Bridging the gap between spiritual health and mainstream medicine, meditation and relaxation have been shown to slow your heart and breathing rate and produce chemicals called endorphins, which contribute to a sense of well-being. A large number of people today have some form of cancer. Modern medicine has made some impressive breakthroughs in this area, but the battle has yet to be won. Natural medicine is being used by a growing number of medical doctors to help in this fight, and they are finding new ways to integrate natural therapies in their approaches to cancer treatment.
3 of the most frightening words one can hear from a doctor are, "You have cancer." Yet surviving cancer is possible, and cancer victors, as they prefer to be called, have an important story to tell to all of us.
And I don't think of my cancer as a bad thing. And here I am 4 years later, and I feel fantastic, and I'm healthy, and it's not a bad thing to have had cancer.
Lots of people say that after they go through a life crisis that they've changed for the better, and you can't really understand how someone can go through chemotherapy and be really sick for months and have that change their lives for the better. But in this instance, it really has. It really has. And thankful. I'm thankful, actually. Grateful.
This new attitude toward a deadly disease is due to the approach now being taken by a growing number of doctors across the country.
I think it's very sad when you think that people only hear the bad news about cancer. You hear about the famous person who died of cancer. You may hear about some new carcinogen in the environment that everyone thought was safe, and they find out that it now causes cancer. But people aren't hearing the tremendous amount of good news in terms of breakthrough nutrients that can markedly lower our risk of getting cancer, breakthroughs in nutrition in people with cancer already, breakthroughs in new therapies for cancer.
We believe that we can prevent essentially in excess of 90% of colon cancers, so that the combination of diet, frequent doctor visits, and appropriate screening steps can prevent most colon cancers that occur in this country.
Doctors at the Strang Cancer Prevention Center in New York City practice an integrative method to cancer treatment, blending alternative therapies with standard medical practice.
But I do believe there's a huge opportunity in the area of integrative medicine. A lot of current medical discoveries have emanated from the plant world and from natural products. So I think that's just scraped the surface, and I'm a great believer in trying to integrate novel nutritional techniques or novel herbal remedies from all sources into our Western medicine approach.
I explored the singing bowls, I did acupuncture, went to a nutritionist. I mean, it's all encompassing. I mean, that's Dr. Gaynor's approach to cancer treatment.
Dr. Mitchell Gaynor employs a wide scope of therapies to assist his patients during recovery. He uses Tibetan singing bowls as a form of sound therapy and meditation, and he believes nutritional education is a key to beating cancer.
Well, we know today that up to 80% of the most common cancers, breast cancer, colon cancer, and prostate cancers, are related to diet. And there's a tremendous amount each individual can do to markedly lower their risk of ever getting cancer in the first place.
The American Cancer Society has compiled its dietary checklist for nutrition. That includes increasing high-fiber foods like whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, especially cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, broccoli, and cabbage. Increasing foods rich in vitamins A and C, and reducing foods high in fat content, as obesity is a proven health risk. They also recommend reductions in alcohol, smoked and salt-cured foods, and foods processed with nitrites.
It's not like it was a decade ago when you go to a surgeon and they say, this is your diagnosis, this is your treatment. Now we have so many options for women, and I think it's very important for them to, number one, know the options, understand the options, and be able to also participate in the decision-making process as to where to go next.
So much of the perspective that you have about life has really come from you learning how to move inward like this.
The good news for some cancer patients is that there are doctors willing to prescribe the unconventional in their search for a cure.
I feel great. I want everyone else to do that too. And if you don't eliminate the cancer, you can live with it. You can have a better quality of life. It's wonderful. I wish it for all of you.
Thomas Edison was faithful to his midday nap, claiming it was the wellspring of his creative ideas. Relaxation and meditation are increasingly familiar in our cultural dialogue. Some people use a mantra, a repeating phrase to quiet the mind. Others simply daydream, visualizing goals and quieting their thoughts. In either case, the benefits of daily relaxation are conclusive. Harvard Medical School researchers have proven meditation lowers blood pressure, reduces harmful stress hormone levels, and improves the body's immune system.
Are you looking for a way to create your own personal health program, from nutritional to exercise? Search no further. Your free health planner is on the web. You can ask the specialized team of physicians, naturopaths, nutritionists, chiropractors, and nurses what the best program to fit your needs and lifestyle may be. Let them help you design a tailored program to keep your health at an optimum level, free. Your health plan is confidential and protected by your own password. You'll find featured articles on the latest topics to provide you with accurate information so that you can better devise a plan that works for you. And you can click on your personal interests to help you specialize your plan. It's all here and easy to access. Discover information about your special nutritional requirements. It's information you're looking for and now can find. You can ask about all your nutritional questions and get a copy of the transcript zapped right to you. Make a plan for healthier, happier lives.
A prayer study was conducted by Dr. Randolph Bird, a cardiologist at the University of California at San Francisco Medical Center. He took 393 people who had been admitted to the hospital with a heart attack. All of the subjects received the same state-of-the-art coronary care, but half were also prayed for. No one knew who was being prayed for. The prayed for group reported fewer deaths, faster recovery, and used fewer potent medications. How powerful is our thinking process? Does it have the ability to cure us? Or is it the reason we're sick in the first place? These are some of the questions to be considered as we explore the healing process from the mind-body perspective. What exactly is mind-body medicine? And why is this concept gaining so much popularity? If our thinking really does affect our health, would you think differently?
My thoughts, my feelings, my intentionality, every dimension of what's going on in the subtle levels have an impact on my body, and they have an impact on everybody who's around me.
The Institute of Noetic Sciences in Sausalito, California, called IONS for short, is an organization dedicated to studying the frontiers of human consciousness in an attempt to integrate the scientific and the non-scientific models of health and healing.
I think consciousness represents one of the great mysteries. We really have very little understanding of what makes us tick. And in terms of healing, we look at alternative medicine, for example, and everybody's looking for the magic bullet. And what we have failed to do, I think, is to really begin to look at the mysteries of the mind. What makes our own innate healing capacities work? How is it that we're able to cure ourselves?
IONS was founded by Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell. In 1971, while Mitchell was returning to Earth from the moon, he had a moving spiritual experience as he viewed the Earth from his tiny space capsule. Who are we, and what are we capable of becoming, were some of the questions he asked himself. He and others soon formed IONS to study the nature of consciousness and to ask fundamental questions that could help construct a new worldview capable of taking the human experience to the next level.
The great opportunity for us in mind-body medicine is to change our focus and to begin to focus internally and to understand the tremendous power of, I would say, mind-spirit body medicine.
One of the areas of mind-body medicine being studied at IONS is the power of prayer as a healing force. Studies have shown that there is an accelerated rate of healing in certain groups of individuals who have had others pray for their well-being.
But the preponderance of the research suggests that there is a strong impact of prayer on healing. And by that, I really am referring to distant prayer, so that it is my praying for you.
Another area that the Institute has been researching is that of spontaneous remission, or how a disease such as cancer can spontaneously disappear from the body, and how the belief system and the immune system are closely connected.
Remission is something that you find in various cultural settings. You find people making pilgrimages to Lourdes, for example, to be blessed by the healing waters, or to a variety of different pilgrimage sites around the world. And we don't know what is the nature of these kind of healing shrines or pilgrimage sites. What we do know is that people's belief system is very, very powerful, and that some people, in some instances, have the capacity to reverse even a terminal diagnosis.
IONS is currently studying the healing effects of subtle energy fields such as Qigong, the ancient Asian art of energy movement. Researchers are looking at the ability of these energies to actually change the biochemistry of a cancer cell and aid in the healing process.
Our potential as human beings is much greater than we have ever imagined. Much greater to improve our own life and to improve the life of everybody around us. In other words, we have an incredible capacity that we simply haven't developed very fully.
We live at a remarkable time in human history where, for the first time, we have access to the world's wisdom traditions. We have sacred texts that were available to only a handful of people. You can now get them on the internet. And we also have the powerful tools of Western science, and we have the remarkable advances that have been made in healthcare. And what we're finding is that as these different cultures and traditions and ways of knowing engage each other, that there are new possibilities for health and healing.
What if your doctor told you that the way to heal yourself is to do nothing? Meditation is sometimes described as the art of doing nothing. Though meditation is a very simple practice, some people have spent their entire lives learning how to meditate and experiencing its potential benefits. Some teachers of meditation believe it is our negative thoughts that can create an illness or dis-ease, and that clearing these thoughts may bring us back into a state of balance and well-being.
Do you feel like you never seem to have enough time? Are you constantly thinking about your next task, even before you finish your first? Many of us spend our lives simply trying to get it all done. But some health practitioners say that could be a path toward trouble.
One of the first things we'll do with people is actually have them eat a raisin, one raisin, very slowly, maybe take 10 minutes. And the experience of that, or looking at a flower, or say looking at your child's face while they're sleeping, is to realize that most of the time we're not really present with anything that we're doing.
Dr. John Kabat-Zinn runs a stress relief clinic in Massachusetts. He says meditation can not only improve our health, but help us lead more fulfilling lives by teaching us to focus on the moment rather than always looking ahead.
Contemplative disciplines, meditation, dwelling in silence and stillness for periods of time, and learning how to embrace the huge wave-like activity of the mind in intelligent ways that allow us to use the full range of our emotions intelligently will have a profound effect on us individually in terms of our health and well-being.
Kabat-Zinn works with patients who have all types of illnesses, from cancer to AIDS, and even simple cases of high blood pressure or chronic headaches. He says meditation is a tool people can use to cope with their illness, and that by stilling our minds, we are able to make the decisions that are right for us.
The mindfulness is a way to really dispel some of the veils between us and the actuality of our experience. And that's a very powerful way to drop in, to be closer to what's deepest and most important to us.
There are three basic types of meditation. Transcendental meditation, which uses a continuously repeated word or phrase like the Sanskrit Om. Mindfulness meditation, which moves the focus throughout the body, concentrating on one area at a time. And breath meditation, concentrating all effort on how we take air in and out. Experts say as little as 15 to 20 minutes a day of meditation can have effects on our health. Some studies suggest meditation works by decreasing the heart rate, slowing our breathing, and lowering blood pressure. Dr. Jordan Fieldman says meditation helped him deal with a diagnosis of brain cancer.
The meditative background, or the meditation background, allowed me to have space around what I was feeling and enough presence to decide, no, I was not ready to die.
Kabat-Zinn says that once we learn to meditate, it becomes a way of life, a tool we can use anywhere and anytime.
You can be mindful doing the dishes, or being with your children, or driving in your car. It is a vast resource for teaching you how to actually refine your life so that you are more in charge and more in touch with what's most important to you.
In a study of 152 women, those who reported high levels of job strain also scored high for depression, anxiety, neuroticism, and hostility, factors that leave them more vulnerable. What is prayer? And do we really know how it works? Why do some prayers seem to be answered while others are not? Many questions revolve around this simple and sincere practice. Although everyone may have their own way of praying, there seems to be one common element: the request for some type of divine intervention for oneself or for another. Are scientific studies supporting the healing power of prayer?
Praying aloud, is it simply ceremonial, or can it be a mystical practice that taps into the creative force of the universe? According to the Gospels, Jesus healed people through the use of affirmations and the laying on of his hands, declaring, "Be thou made whole," which many people believe is a demonstration of the use of sound and touch in healing. In recent times, science has shown that sound effects matter in more complicated ways than simply shattering glass or setting off an avalanche. In the early 60s, Dr. Hans Jenny documented the creative power of sound. Jenny conducted experiments to show that shape and form owed their shape and form solely to sound. And doctors such as Peter Guy Manners and Mitchell Gaynor are experimenting with the tones to heal the body.
It is all-consuming.
For more than 40 years, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, spiritual leader of the Summit Lighthouse, has taught her form of healing prayer called decrees. Prophet teaches that decrees can be used to access a high-frequency energy known as the violet flame.
It's crucial to be able to pray to God and give a mantra to the violet flame, such as, "I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires." When you say the word, "I am," you're saying the name of God. The violet flame is the highest of the spectrum of color. It is a healing light and can be a physical, tangible light. We give mantras, prayers, decrees, meditations to call forth this flame.
Those who use it say that when evoked through their prayer and visualizations, the violet flame brings balance, harmony, and positive change for them.
I use the violet flame because it eases any pain that I have, especially I have pain in my neck from an old neck injury when I was hit on my bicycle. So anytime my neck bothers me, I give violet flame decrees and direct those violet flame decrees into the area where the pain is, and the pain disappears.
Dannion Brinkley, author of the bestseller Saved by the Light, has had 3 near-death experiences. The first, 28 minutes long, after being struck by lightning. He lectures around the world about what he saw on the other side and talks about his encounter with the violet flame.
In each of the 3 near-death experiences, I have passed through each of the flames in the color. I have seen the violet flame and dwelled, and at a certain place in the Crystal Cities, I became attached to it.
Nerlee Duffy is a medical doctor and member of the Summit Lighthouse who has practiced spoken prayer for 16 years. She says these techniques recently helped her go through a life-changing experience.
A year ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my tumor was about the size of a quarter. I used spiritual techniques, including the violet flame, and I visualized the tumor dissolving in the violet flame. And 5 days later, when the surgeon operated, he found that the tumor had been reduced to the size of a dime.
While Dr. Duffy used conventional medicine, she says decrees to invoke the violet flame played a significant role in her healing.
Purity God desires. So I used a number of techniques, including spiritual techniques, for my treatment of cancer. I used the violet flame decrees, and I visualized the violet flame dissolving the cancer. I also used a number of medical techniques, traditional and complementary therapies, but I really consider that the violet flame was a key to helping me to take an active part in my treatment. It enabled me to feel well, even though I was going through chemotherapy and radiation. In fact, within a week after radiation, I went back to work.
Elizabeth Prophet claims that every person has the power within themselves to connect with the violet flame. Are doctors only rediscovering what mystics and spiritual practitioners have been invoking through spoken prayer and visualization for centuries?
Research is now showing that peace of mind and a healthy body go hand in hand. For example, biofeedback is a technique which teaches people to use their mind to control their body. A recent study on biofeedback at the University of California at Los Angeles found that subjects with chronic heart disease had better circulation and a lower rate of breathing after a 20-minute biofeedback session. Popular lecturer and author Dr. Andrew Weil believes that stress reduction through relaxation is one of the most important aspects of preventative medicine. The relaxation response can be brought on by other simple and age-old techniques. Exercise, laughter, and meditation can all help reduce stress.
Why is stress so stressful? Doctors define stress as our reaction to any stimulus or interference that upsets normal functioning and that disturbs mental or physical health. You can search the web for all your questions about stress and what to do to reduce stress in your life. Find out how meditation can help reduce the negative effects of stress. Learn how prolonged stress can lead to other illnesses like chronic fatigue. All the information you need with a click of the button. Have questions about what supplements are good to combat stress, like vitamin A, E, C, and B complex? Get your answers on the web. Stay up to date on the latest research about stress and insomnia, depression, and how stress breaks down the immune system, leaving us open to colds and flu. Stress is a part of our daily lives, but too much stress can produce ill effects. Find out what you can take to boost your body's defenses naturally. Just ask the experts on the web. There's no stress here. The information you need is at your fingertips. It's on the web.
Patients with hypertension who practice transcendental meditation twice daily for 5 to 6 months achieve significantly lower blood pressure. Our everyday lives are filled with stress. Have you ever missed an important meeting because you were stuck in traffic? Have you had to stay up all night studying for a final exam? Stress affects all of us one time or another. In fact, stress has been reported to be one of the major causes of illness in the Western world. How can we live in our fast-paced world and not be overcome by stress? Are there effective and simple ways we can manage it?
Lori Leiden Rubenstein, author of the Stress Management Handbook, teaches stress and anxiety management. She explains her methods on how to manage the stress in everyday life.
It's really more of a sense of letting go of that beating up of ourselves and letting go of our distorted thinking. It's more about being more loving and compassionate with ourselves, being able to look inside for the answers, to tap into that inner wisdom that we all have and we so seldom pay attention to.
Authorities define stress as a reaction to any stimulus or interference that upsets normal functioning and disturbs mental or physical health. Although a certain amount of stress is a normal part of daily life, how can individuals deal with abnormal amounts of stress?
In terms of managing our stress, People are more and more looking to these things like meditation and emotional release work and prioritizing what makes them happy, looking at nutritional aspects of how to keep themselves in balance. This really is the future, people taking responsibility for themselves.
Though researchers are just beginning to evaluate the effectiveness of mind-body-spirit treatment, to date there is some support for techniques like guided imagery, meditation, and yoga.
The first thing that I needed to do was to learn how to breathe and relax and to let some things go, to sort through what was important to me in the moment and to let the other things get in line and wait until later.
So we need to look at how we distort our thinking and come up with more objective ways of talking to ourselves. We need to learn to work with our emotions as tools for getting our needs met. We need to look at healthy nutrition and exercise. It's each of these things together, in addition to what I consider the spiritual aspects, which is treating myself more compassionately, treating myself with more acceptance.
Experts say prolonged bouts of stress can lead to exhaustion and minor illness, along with more serious health problems.
The course you think you're taking, or you're caught up doing, the lifestyle you pick, or the job you choose, you get caught up. And then all of a sudden, you have to stop. And you have to figure out what's going to be important and what's not. And one thing I remembered reading quite a while ago was, if you don't take time to be well, you will take time to be sick. And that's what happens.
Dr. Rubenstein's methods point to the mind-body connection as a way to reduce stress. She encourages adopting strategies like understanding the behavior around stress, making nutritional changes, exercising, and reducing negative thinking in order to improve overall well-being.
Any time that you're in the stress mode, you're depressing your immune system and leaving yourself open to all kinds of disease and illness. We know that 90% of all illness is stress-related. So it's a very serious problem. And what I really want to tell people to do is don't wait until you get sick to get better.
Psychology teaches that life experiences shape behavior, and how these experiences are handled often affects an individual's ability to deal with stress. There is evidence to support that through stress management techniques, people can learn to live a healthier and happier life.
Studies show quitting smoking can reduce back pain. Smokers have twice as much pain as non-smokers.
To me, healthy living means waking up every morning and doing the things that you love to do. Not doing them because you have to do them, but because you love to do them. And if you follow that rule, you'll be happy every day of your life.
Trying to watch what you eat and what you drink, and also keeping your mind open and curious and alive.
Watch what we eat, cut out the alcohol, or at least minimize that. None of us smoke, none of our friends smoke. I think that's the best thing in the world for you. So just a good moderate lifestyle and no excesses anywhere, you know.
Books by featured authors and on the subjects discussed in today's program may be purchased at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. For additional information on this program, visit HealthyLivingForYou.com.